What's up, everybody? Nick the Comic Nerd. Sorry for the bumpy video, but I didn't do Nick's picks from the car this week, but I'm going to try and do Nick's nerd word from the car this week. I'll make it quick because I'm on my way to work. I worked 2 shifts yesterday through the overnight, and I have to be back in now at 4 o'clock, so I'm on my way in. I will post this when I get there, so it won't be live, but I'll give you just a couple of the stories I read. I read a lot of stuff, which was great. Kind of have like a little system going finally with reading comics and catching up to everything, so it's definitely making all the difference for me. So we're gonna do Nick's nerd word for this is episode 17, I think. So I appreciate if you end up watching this. If it's too shaky, I totally get it. If the volume sucks, I get it. But let's try and do this. So first up, I finished the compendium number 1 of Invincible. Fantastic. A lot of good things happened. Remember, this is a spoiler show, so I had texted Adrian Panda Awesome, and I was like, dude, I can't believe Mark is still with Amber. He should be with Eve. She's so much hotter and so much cooler. They have more in common. Finally, something happens with Mark and Eve, and it doesn't even stick. Like, it doesn't stay around, and you're like, no. And now there's like another new girl into it that's like his brother Oliver's tutor. His mom is dating again, and of course, as soon as his mom is getting happy and dating somebody, who shows back up? None other than Omni-Man, who is trapped as a prisoner of the Viltrumites. So kind of crazy, and he's trying to break his way out, and he literally says at the end of one of the issues, I think I miss my wife. So you're just like, fuck, like, we don't want this, because to me, Omni-Man is still a bad guy. I don't care that he is trapped. I don't care that he's trying to do good and had another kid and that Mark's mom is taking care of him. I don't care. I still think Omni-Man is the villain in my eyes. So we will see what Compendium 2 has to offer with that, because it'll be really interesting. The other thing is, the government agency that Mark works for, you find out is teaming up with somebody Mark doesn't know about, who creates all of the like robot skeleton looking guys, and you kind of know that things are going to go really south in Compendium 2. I can't believe there's 3 compendiums, because number 2 is going to be, I think, heavy with a lot of things, and it's cool because on the cover Mark is wearing a different suit. It's no longer yellow, black, and blue. It's like a blue and black and gray, so I'm really excited to see if he ends up getting a new suit. And to be honest, I thought his mom would be dating the guy who makes all the superhero suits. So pretty well done. Very much a big fan. It's cool to read another Kirkman story, because the only thing I've ever read was The Walking Dead. So, and if you guys aren't watching Dead City, it's actually pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. So excited for the Daryl Dixon show. What else did I read? I read more of the Frank Miller stuff, The Ancient Enemies. I read Pandora, which was awesome. That was a story about a girl who has some friends, and she learned she was bullied. But she goes kind of like into the idea of like not Pandora's box, it's more of like a Pandora wall, and she ends up going into this universe, and like one of the people she actually likes, her friends, is like evil and being mean to her, and then he rescues her from another parallel universe. Like, it gets wild, but it was so good. And again, the whole concept of Pandora's box is, you open the box to evil, like all the bad things will happen. So she kind of does this in a fashion by going into this like wall. So it was a really good story. I thought it was very good. I still really like those runs. I think I only have like 2 issues left of that Ancient Enemies. I might end up picking those up more as indies. I'm not really sure though. And then I also read another Frank Miller presents The Ancient Enemies called Wraith and Son. This is about I don't know if you call him a superhero, just a vigilante is a better word. He's got a cool red and white suit. Is going around, he can become invisible, and he's just kind of doing good around town, but he's doing it out of the hatred of his heart. And you learn that it all comes from his mom, it stems from his mom, and you learn that she actually created these wraith suits, which lets them become like ghost-like. I didn't know that's what a wraith was. It's kind of like the in-between of a ghost and like the poltergeist kind of deal, I think. So it was a good story. I really liked that one too. That Ancient Enemy stuff, I can't believe how good it's been. I hope, and they're all supposed to come together and form one big story between the genie that Pandora, all those are supposed to come together. So I'd like to see how it continues. What else did I read? I wish I could show you guys the covers. I read Toy #1. I didn't realize it was a children's story, but I had bought the Super Mario World homage variant, so I was like, I'm not passing up on that, that's for sure. So basically the toy looks like Yoshi, and the figure on top of him riding him looks like Super Mario. Really cool story. It was a lot of fun. Even for a children's story, it just looked like fun for a kid to read, so I highly recommend it. I might end up just passing it on to one of my buddy's kids, but like I said, if you got kids, check out Toy, which I got from Marvelous Comics. Don't forget that. I think I put that in my haul video. What else did I read? I read a couple. Well, I didn't read a couple more. I read a lot more stories. I'm trying to remember. Oh, I read World Tree #3. World Tree #3 was so good. We got a lot further into the story of everybody, which is fantastic. I highly, highly, highly recommend it to everybody. I'm glad that I continued to pick up the issues of World Tree after saying I was only going to do trades for indies besides Nocterra, because World Tree is good. Tinian knows what he's doing. I can't say it enough. So it seems like you're kind of getting the vibe that all these people are going to come together, and one of the main characters, the protagonists, his girlfriend ends up being like caught up in the computer that like kind of takes over your mind or whatever, and they're trying to save her. So, and he gets to her, or they bring somebody, they like a bunch of people come together, like the police agents and everything. And he also meets another character who like blows up a precinct. Like, it's really well done. A lot of action, and it's cool because you see who all the characters are. It's kind of told by their stories. So highly recommend World Tree. If you're not reading it, jump into it. A lot of nudity, so if you're into that, go for it. What else did I read indie-wise? I don't really know if I read anything Marvel. Oh, I read Excalibur 1 that I got from Bleecker Street Comics. That was dope. I'm not a big X-Men guy, but I am a Nightcrawler guy, so it's got like Captain Britain, which I've never read a story with. And Captain Britain was a pretty cool character involved in there. Nightcrawler obviously was a great character. He was dating, I can't remember the girl's name. It might have been the Dazzler. I'm guessing on that though. So it's pretty cool how like they all end up lofting together, and you learn like they're, you know, going to be a team. And there's not a lot of big villains in this first issue, but it is the cool first team up for Excalibur. So I thought it was great. Plus, I've like played video games. It's got like the sword through the title on it, on the cover, on the trade dress. And I remember playing a video game where Nightcrawler had a sword, and I was like, oh, this is cool. So it was neat how like it all kind of compared, or it all kind of came together for me, at least, kind of full circled, which you love to see. DC, I think I'm just going to dive into DC because I don't think I read anything else Marvel. I'm trying to think if I read Star Wars or anything. I don't think I did. DC, I read, we're going to finish with Night Terrors. I did read some issues of Night Terrors, but I read Green Arrow 3. I've never read a full Green Arrow run. That is one of the better runs I've read in DC. I am super into it. Big fan. I think it's just very good. The whole thing with the parallel universe, and Oliver swears he can't go home, which he knows he basically says that he wants to, and he's with Red Arrow's daughter, and he keeps telling her we can't go home, and he doesn't explain why. And then you learn that at the end of this, why he can't go home, you learn that when his whole family is together, so Hawk, him, Black Canary, Arsenal, who is Red Arrow, his daughter, you learn that like tragic events happen, and it sounds like somebody in his family dies, but he already saw that, which means he's been in the future. So pretty cool, and really sad, because you're like, damn, like Oliver really is never gonna go home. Like, you're just catching that vibe. So he finally explains it, which sucks because his niece hears it, and is it his niece or is it his granddaughter hear it, and she gets upset. It sucks, like, you know, knowing you can't go home because something tragic is going to happen when your family is together. That sucks. So highly recommend. That was also my cover of the week. It is a dope B or C cover. It's a, I think it's a Virgin cover, and it's got a Black Canary like singing in her tights. It's fucking great. Check it out. And then I did read another John Kent story. I read the Superboy Man of Tomorrow. The Connor story is really good. I'm excited to see where this keeps going. I don't know how long that'll run for, but in all honesty, it's working. He's working alongside with the team he's been with. I can't remember the Commanders or the Commandeers. I can't remember. I think it's the Commandeers. They're working together as a team, and he doesn't like one of these people. He like doesn't trust him. I can't remember his name, but then all of a sudden he like decides to trust him, and it shows like time goes by and like they've saved planets, they've like saved people. It's such a good like little thing. Like it's so positive for Connor to know that like, oh, like he's being Superman and doing what he's supposed to do. But what sucks is at the end of it, all of a sudden 2 of the Commandeers die, and I think it's the third one. I think it's the third guy who he didn't trust at first, because all of a sudden Connor gets it and he's like, oh my god, they were killed, and the other guy was like, yeah. But I think it was just all part of the plan. Like I think it's terrible, and you know, I hope to find out next issue who it was. I can't imagine it has to wait very long to see it, but that's a great story, you guys. Superboy Man of Tomorrow has been fantastic. I actually love the little getup he wears. He's got like red pants, boots with the spikes coming out, and a leather jacket. It just works. I'm not gonna lie, I'm into it. And last but not least, I'll just break down some Night Terror stuff for you. So I read First Blood. Fantastic. This is my first Deadman story, which is really cool. It's cool that I'm finally like learning a lot about these DC characters, because I just can't say enough that DC is killing it. I know I'm a broken record, but it's just so good. So basically, there's the Hall of Justice is like overgrown, and the Trinity, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman go to check it out, and they find a dead body, and Deadman is there, and he can like feel spirits or something, and he can put himself inside somebody else's body, and he ends up to communicate, because nobody can hear him. He goes into Batman's body, but Batman knows. He's like, I told you to never do this, and Deadman is basically talking to Wonder Woman and Superman, saying like, look, this isn't magic, this is something else. And it's really crazy. They all run around to try and figure out what's going on. They call Zatanna. She'll be one of the stories, actually. I'm really excited for that one, to be honest, because I love her character. But they end up, I'm trying to remember what Superman does. Wonder Woman goes to Zatanna, and then Batman rushes to Arkham to see John D. That's the guy's name, John D. I don't know where he comes in, but John D is the dead person, and he's lying on a table. Harley Quinn is there, all the doctors are there, and all of a sudden something comes out of him. You learn towards the end of it, along with in the first issue of Batman for Night Terrors, that this is Insomnia. So it's super cool character, really well done. And when he comes out, he kind of takes over. So he's like a nightmare in your head. At the same time, you don't know if like you're awake or dreaming, and it's hard. So like in Batman issue number 1, Deadman is still with him and walking around. His name is Boston something. I don't remember, but I thought the name was pretty cool. Shout out to Boston Chris. Anyways, Seth freaking Boston, baby. Anyways, so Batman thinks or realizes he's in a dream, and he realizes he's in a nightmare, and it was really dark and twisted because he can see himself in the like awake world, but knows he's in a dream, and Deadman is talking to him. He's like, yeah, I'm inside you trying to help you control this. And Batman is like, well, to beat insomnia, I'm gonna have to dive deeper into my dreams, which is sick. And Deadman is kind of like, no, don't do this, and Batman is like, no, this is gonna be the only way. So he keeps diving deeper and deeper into his nightmares, and he gets to a point where he's in a nightmare where he's Joe, chill. And all of a sudden you're like, shit, because he's with his parents in Crime Alley. So you kind of pick up the fact that Batman is probably going to kill his parents, and that's how the issue ends. You see the bam bam, like the shotgun, the gunshot, and then it ends, and you're like, shit, did he just kill his parents? So good. I think Night Terrors is going to be great. I didn't read Ravager 1 yet, and I didn't read Joker 1. I will read that tomorrow, and I will start Compendium number 2 for Invincible. I'm trying to think if I have anything else for you guys, to be honest. Again, if you watched this and hung through this, thank you so much. Big fan of all of you. I know I'm far away, and I know the grind at this point takes forever, like it did for me to get to 300 to 400, but I have a great idea for my 500 subscriber giveaway. Once I get confirmations from a few people, I will let you guys know what that is. Tomorrow is going to be the Grand Slam giveaway video for the month of July, so be sure to enter into that. I'll still do some card shorts on Tuesdays, but on Tuesdays, I'm going to post once a month, I'm going to post like reruns. So I'm going to reread a story, and I'm going to try and relate it to like the time of the year. So, like I might read like Empire again from Avengers and Marvel to see so just reread it all at once rather than broken up the way I did. Or I'm going to make my shorts, it'll be a preview for Nick's Nerd Word, where I'll show you guys, I'm going to catch up on this run, like Star Wars Bounty Hunters or Venom, and that'll be a big talk on the following Sunday. So that's the plan. Sorry I don't really have much of a voice. I know I kind of haven't shut up, but I appreciate you guys hanging out if you did. Seriously, that's amazing. Like this video if you're checking it out. Comment down below what you thought of my reviews. Let me know if you read Night Terrors. Let me know if you read any of these books. Let me know what you read this week. And that's really all I got for you guys. I have to go into work in like 2 minutes, so it kind of worked out doing it driving. I really hope it wasn't too shaky, but I don't have much faith in myself, so that's what I got for you guys. So as always, I hope you enjoyed your weekend, and I hope you stay safe and enjoy your comics.